It's Blues America time. Blues America time.
The blues is a feeling. The blues is life. The blues is stories and legend. The blues is the heart and soul of America. It is our history and national standard. Everything started from the blues. It's time now for Blues America. Blues America, broadcasting coast to coast. Let's talk about the blues, shall we?
Yes, time to talk about the blues. This is your source for blues talk, a little blues show from Arizona, Blues America. I'm in charge of this mess, your humble host, the guy behind the blues, your blues anchor, Drew Verbis. Here's what you need to know. Blues America broadcasts weekly on the radio, spreading blues out of the Sonoran Desert from Tucson to Sedona, and coast to coast on syndicated stations and worldwide on our streaming podcast, online now at bluesamerica.com. The website also features blues junk, like the photo of the week, the blues news, and detailed program information. Contact the show at bluesamerica@gmail.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. Blues America is now broadcasting on the Kansas City Online Radio Network. And today on Blues America, a tribute to the American music icon, Ray Charles. It's Remembering Ray, featuring candid interviews with an all-star cast of blues legends and music professionals. You're listening to Blues America. I'm that guy, Drew Verbis.
Blues America is recorded and produced at the Chico Chisholm Memorial Studio.
Ray Charles needs no introduction. He's known internationally as the Genius. He was an innovator and pioneer of soul, gospel, and blues. The Rolling Stone magazine labeled him as the second most important musician of all time. He's performed for presidents and featured on a U.S. postage stamp. Today on Blues America, remembering Ray Charles, with candid interviews conducted shortly after his death in 2004, featuring the late B.B. King, the late Grammy Award-winning blues and R&B singer Ruth Brown, the late English jazz musician and host of Piano Jazz, Marion McPartland, legendary singer and Persuasion's frontman Jerry Lawson, Delmark Records founder Bob Kester, famed Arizona and Texas blues giant Big Pete Pearson, and music historian and disc jockey Johnny D. I'm Drew Verbis, celebrating the life of Ray Charles, the Genius, on Remembering Ray from Blues America.
Blues America is endorsed by the Phoenix Blues Society. Learn how to become a member at phoenixblues.org. Blues America. Now that's some home cooking.
I'm Johnny D. For many years here in Phoenix, I did a show called R&B with Johnny D on several different stations and certainly played a lot of Ray Charles music in those days, primarily the 70s here in the Valley when there was very little soul, and actually had a radio show on KDKB on Sunday nights for about 4 hours at one time, and it was wonderful because it was a real true soul show with a whole variety of music, and certainly I'd say Ray Charles and James Brown were my two favorite, kind of the backbone musically, and they were prolific enough to have a ton of music out, unlike a lot of other people that I liked that put out good records. Between Ray Charles and James Brown, they must have 500,000 records out between the two of them, which was wonderful, and they were all great. And for me, Ray Charles was Atlantic. I mean, certainly he was much better known for the Georgia on My Mind and the country and western things that he got into, but to my way of thinking, the groundbreaking Ray Charles were those early Atlantic albums. The sound, the creativity, the fact that he was writing most of the songs at that time just added to the excitement of the music. And one of my favorite releases that I remember playing quite a bit was the live version of Tell the Truth. That actually was a hit for the Five Royales, but he just did a fantastic version. This was one of those live albums. It was cut in 1959 in Atlanta, Georgia. One microphone at the back of the stadium, so you get all of this fabulous echo coming around, but it was just at the right place at the right time. And he does his hits, What I Say, Yes Indeed, and Drowned in My Own Tears, which was another great song. But for some reason, Tell the Truth was so funky. And Margie Hendricks was one of the Raylettes, and she sings with Ray, and it is just a killer. It's one of my all-time favorite Ray Charles records, and it was called Ray Charles in Person. Hey! Just a little bit of soul. Man, he had a crack band. I mean, these guys had it down, playing night after night. He was a tough guy to work for, and there's been mention many times of his really chewing somebody out, hitting the wrong note, coming in at the wrong time or something. He wasn't the easiest guy to work for, but everyone appreciated the fact that he knew what he wanted, and you do it Ray's way or you don't do it, and if you're doing it Ray's way, you know it's got to be good. But he always had a wonderful band, and then when he added the Raylettes shortly after his signing to Atlantic, it added another part of his total delivery. It in a way brought the church into his music, because it was that live call and talk back and sing back and forth that Ray Charles remembered from the church. I've got a chart listing here of some of the songs, and just I just want to get them in. Songs like One Mint Julep, that Hit the Road Jack. I mean, what a wonderful song! Now, Unchain My Heart, which was just great. You Are My Sunshine. He did Take These Chains, and Busted, which was another great song. What I Say, and I'm Moving On, Let the Good Times Roll. I mean, those...
I Got a Woman.
I Got a Woman. Yeah, man. I mean, those were just, the first time you heard those songs, you just went, wow, that is just so great. But What I Say, man, and then that, where it broke down and, hey, that callback. I mean, that was like a new thing. Wait a minute. He stopped the record here, and then they're yelling back and forth a little bit, and then he's picking the record back up again and ending it out. I mean, things that now just seem pretty normal to kind of the music scene in the late 50s. These were unheard of things, man. It was 2.5 minutes, and you played it all the way through, and there was no... And I thought, man, that is so cool. They're yelling back and forth to each other, and then he gets the rhythm back going again.
Treat me wrong. Come and love you, daddy, all night long. All right now. Hey, hey. All right. You see the girl with the diamond ring? She knows how to shake that thing. All right now. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Tell your mama, tell your pa, I'm gonna send you back to Arkansas. Oh, yes, ma'am. You don't do right. Don't do right. When you see me in misery, come on, baby, see about me now, yeah. All right. All right. Oh, play it, boy.
You're listening to Blues America. Blues America.
Wow, hi there. This is Ruth Brown. We knew each other. We had not worked together, but the first time we went out to work together was in Austin, Texas. That was the first gig that we did together. And we toured for, maybe about 3 months or so, right then, without stopping. But we worked together many times since that time. We played in Chicago. We did the whole theater chain, you know. And what the next place? The last time I worked with him was in Oyster Bay, Long Island. That must have been in 1991 or something like that. But I've known Red practically all of my musical life, you know, because I came in with Atlantic Records at 1948, and the time I went out with him was 1952.
What was Ray like for somebody that just...
Funny? Oh my God. The first thing I would think about is that he made you smile no matter what, you know?
Uh-huh.
And I remember something that happened to me with him. We were working in New Jersey. I think it was Rahway, New Jersey. And we were doing an outside fair. And there was another blind singer called Al Hibbler. Mm-hmm. And we were all on the same bill. And there were no dressing rooms, so we were all sitting in the automobile waiting for our turn to go up on the stage, and I was in the back seat, and these two guys were in the front seat with their crazy selves. And without thinking, Ray said to Al Hibbler, "Let's take Ruth out for a sightseeing tour." And he started that car up, and I like to die. He must have drove about 150 feet, I guess, but he scared me to death because I was in the back seat. They said, "Let's take Ruth out." Well, as I said, there were so many times I remember some funny things with Ray. We played the Chicago Theater one time, the Regal Theater, and Ray was the star and I was a co-star, and I never will forget that Ray was in the dressing room that I wanted. And the argument was, it was a star's dressing room, but in that dressing room they had all the mirrors, you know. And I said to him, "Ray, you don't need these mirrors." He said, "Yeah, I got some things I need to see." You know. And of course the famous thing was about a year ago, he called me when he told me about the movie they were doing about him. And he told me, he said, "Well, somebody's going to play you." And I laughed. I said, "You guys waited until I'm too old to play myself," you know. So he said, "Well, of course, somebody's going to play you." And I said, "Who's going to play me?" And he said, "Who do you want?" And I said, "I want Halle Berry, of course." And he said, "Ruth, you must think I'm blind."
I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh yeah, say I got a woman way over town, good to me. Oh yeah, she give me money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a kind of friend indeed. I got a woman way over town.
Got a black cat bone and a mojo too. It's Blues America.
Hi there, this is B.B. King.
Do you know way down up on the
Yes. He was one of my dearest friends. One of my dearest friends, and people call him a genius, but I think that's an understatement.